What's up, everybody? Y'all, come on in. What's up, Javon? What's up, Annabelle? What's up, John? Y'all, come on in. What's up, Mavro? What's up, Portia? What's up, Tiffany? Y'all, come on in. Got a fun one for y'all today. What's up, Lava? Alright, we'll give him another minute, y'all, and we'll get started. Sorry about that. We'll give him another minute and we'll get started. All right. How about we begin? Let's get it in now. They'll come in when they come in, right? Now, the title of this lecture is The Jedi versus Jedi. So what we got going on here? You know, this is me trying to correct the perversion of what they're portraying to you in Star Wars of the Jedi that you are seeing. See what I'm saying? What's up, John? You know, you gotta correct this perversion that they're showing you. In Star Wars, let's start with them before we get into the ancient Jedi. In Star Wars, you got a bunch of niggas running around in robes, kidnapping children, taking them to an order, training them up in the Force, and they can't do nothing else and they become slaves to this order as they go out and carry out their tasks, and they don't supposed to question the task at all. So it's pretty much a spiritual pretty much a spiritual secret. You can say it's a secret spiritual military, secret spiritual cult, however you want to look at it, right? So this is what they're doing in Star Wars. You see what I'm saying? They go, and if they find out that your kid is force sensitive, they go to they give them a test to see how their midichlorian count is, or their melanocytes, or their boson/gluon count, also in the cells of your body. So if it's at least 8,000, 8,000, then they ready to train them, right? So what's up, Jamisha? So since they ready to train them, so they take your kid from you, no questions asked, and carry them across the galaxy and raise them in the temple as fucking pretty much super soldiers, right? They get the nice term peacekeepers, but really they become super soldiers. You see what I'm saying? For the Republic, or for this Cabal society. You see what I'm saying? That we live in this arcanic society we live in, right? So now, this is a perversion of our ancestors' version of the Jedi. See what I'm saying? That was in Lemuria, that was in Mu, that was in Atlantis, that was in Kemet. You see what I'm saying? That was in Sumeria. It's a perversion of what those orders stood for. So what is our order like? What are the original Jedi like? They are actually known as the priesthood of Jedi. D-J-E-D-T-E-T. Jedi. You see what I'm saying? It was about northeast. Their city was northeast of Kemet, and they had their little priest city. They had a priesthood city known as Jedi, which wasn't far from the pretty much the temple. See what I'm saying? The Jedi temple at the time. So and Jedi were mainly the families of the warrior priests, the force warriors and force warriors. You see what I'm saying? That's where their families reside most of the time, right? Also, they had the magical police force, which was the Magi. And so all this is coming into one thing. It was all one big program at the time in ancient Egypt. So what happened? What went down? So these Arcanic Greeks came along, who had already been taken over by the Berber Moors and everybody, and they started calling them the cult of Mendes, and they said they was goat worshippers, which is untrue, because ancient Egyptians didn't even deal with goat energy for real. They had Pan, but that was about it. But they mainly dealt with the ram energy in ancient Egypt, because they was in the age of Aries, and Aries is what? The ram. So they dealt with the ram-headed god Jedi. See what I'm saying? And his wife, the fish goddess Hatmahet. That's who they dealt with at the time, the priesthood of Jedi. Those were their main deities at the time. So let me give you pictures of them. What's up, Brandon? What's up, Betty? Let me give you pictures real quick. This is Hatmahet. See, she got a fish on her head. There. This is like a silver statue made out of silver of her. Yeah, statue made out of silver. Then, let's see here. Let me get Jedi up here. So, she the fish goddess. Let's see. Here go another dope picture where you get your mermaid energy from. I can barely see that. Yeah, I can barely see that. There you go. The mermaid energy. Mermaids, Mama Water, Yimmy, they all come from that frequency. See what I'm saying? And here's Bane of Jedi right here. Here is he. What's up, Raw? There go another picture of him. He got 4 heads this time, and he green. You know that green light radiation. There we go again. So that's who they was dealing with in ancient Egypt. They weren't really dealing with the goat energy. You had Pan, because the son of Bane of Jedi and Pan is the son of Bane of Jedi and Hotman is Pan. That's true. They gave birth to the goat energy. But the goat energy didn't really rise up until the energy was moved to Europe. You see what I'm saying? It was moved to Europe. And once they moved it to Europe, then Bane of Jedi would transmute into the Baphomet. You see what I'm saying? The Baphomet. You know. So that's who these beings, lost my train of thought. That's who Bane of Jedi became while he was in Europe. See what I'm saying? He became the Baphomet. So that's the true secret of this particular situation. You see what I'm saying? It's the true teachings here. You know, he became that because the goat energy was needed for the Piscean age. Why was the goat energy needed? Because what do ghosts do? They sit on high and they watch over the people as at this time we were asleep. So everybody needed to be watchers during the Piscean age, because all the secret societies had to do what? Go underground. You see what I'm saying? So they became observers for the most part. You see what I'm saying? Galactic observers. They had to do that because of the energies working against them for the Piscean cycle, right? So they had to do that. There was no choice. What's up, Ty? There was no choice. So, with that being said, the Jedi at the time were powerful beings. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they were powerful beings. Let's see. And Pan also connected to the Magi, who was the magical police force in ancient Egypt. But they were all one big organization. See, the Jedi were also sorcerers of the highest order, as they had learned how to channel golden source energy directly from the pleroma, which is the original primordial realm. You see what I'm saying? So these beings were sorcerers as well. Let me show you an example of them being sorcerers. A couple of examples here. Let me see. Here. There we go. There go your boy here, using that force energy right there in that scene there. Who else we got here? Let's see. Did I pack any more pictures? Yes, I did. They just put us in the wrong location. Let me go down some. Let's see here. Here you go, Jedi, or Jedi as he was originally called. Who started who really set it off in Kemet as the original order. You see what I'm saying? It's the original order of mystics. So they were sorcerers. You see what I'm saying? They was battle mages. They was warriors of the highest caliber at this time. You feel me? At this time. Here was another picture. Another dope picture I like. And yes, lightsabers are very real. Lightsabers, this is not a new thing. George Lucas just didn't make that shit up. Niggas was actually using lightsabers in Kemet. Lightsabers is nothing but crystal technology. They call them Cabal crystals. They ain't never crystal technology. You see what I'm saying? And in Atlantis and in Lemuria or Mu. So, you know, this is what you got going on here. Next, the symbols of the Jedi were parts of the body, i.e. the Jedi pillar, which is the spine. The Watch scepter represents the melanin body and magic. The Ankh represents the soul body, or light body as y'all know it. And the cross represents the physical body. And the flail and the crook, as you see, the crook represents magic also. And the flail represents your warrior energy, and it also represents fertility of the land as well. So let's see here. Let's see those symbols. Let me show you those real quick. You go to crook in the flail. Crook in the flail. What's up, Sade? What's up, Kendall? You go to crook in the flail. The crook represented magic, and the flail represented fertility and your warrior energy. Right? Y'all can see the cross there. There it is. That represented your physical body. You know, before they did all that crazy shit they did with it during the Piscean Age. Let's see. Here is the Ankh, your soul body. The Jedi pillar, your spine, and it also represents stability and balance, of course, because the spine is the middle path. And then the Watch scepter, which represents your melanin body, your melanocortin signaling system. All right, and when they're all three of them are fused together, it looks like this. This is when the soul, the melanin, and your spirit is fused in one, and when the soul, the melanin, and the spirit are all working together as one harmonious entity, it looks something like this. So now you're channeling soul power, melanin power, and spiritual power through you, because an activated spine is what? All your chakras, and you activated with, and you had that Kundalini awakening. So you usually see who rocking this. You usually see the guy Ptah rocking this, right? Ptah is who? Ptah means what? Ptah means path. P-A-T-H. Ptah is path scrambled. So let me see. Let me get you a picture of him. Hopefully I grabbed him. I think I did. Oh, there you go. Here's a picture of Ptah. So there you go. And then sometimes you will see the goddesses rocking cauldron bowls. This represents alchemy, which is the practice of refining your base self on a molecular level, which is what they call lead in alchemical teachings, into a god like your god self, which is gold. You see what I'm saying? Your solar god self, which is gold. Your enlightened god self. You see what I'm saying? What you get here. So that's what gold represents. So lead is your base human consciousness, and gold is your enlightened God consciousness, right? See what I'm saying? So they talk about the lightsaber in Star Wars, right? They give you this lightsaber thing, you know, this thing that they like to talk about. You know, they crazy about that lightsaber. See what I'm saying? Let me show you a picture. One I know y'all know is dope. This is what they portray to y'all. They portray to y'all the kids using lightsabers in Star Wars, right? So what is this lightsaber? You see what I'm saying? What is this lightsaber? What's up, Ray? What is this lightsaber? They talk about the lightsaber in Star Wars. The lightsaber represents the spark of knowledge of self as it bursts out of your core self, which is your soul. And once you are done using this wisdom, it retracts back into your body or your being. They actually had lightsabers in Atlantis and Kemet. They have them locked in the Vatican, along with all our other crystal technologies, melanin technologies, and various other technologies, advanced technologies. We have star maps, starships, everything they got down there. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So this is what they got going on here. This is what they got going on here when they talking about our sciences, you know. So I don't know what they talking about. I don't know what they talking about. You know, they are projecting a lie in Star Wars, in the sense that they telling us that the Jedi did this and the Jedi did that, but they ain't paying homage to the Jedi because they have twisted the story. You see what I'm saying? They have twisted the story. We're going to get into that. Now, what is the Force? You know, a lot of people ask me, what is this Force, Marvin? Or life force, as it's also called. The Force is a cosmic unified field of energy, power, and presence. This living intelligence flows into and around. This living intelligence flows to and from the pleroma, which is the primordial realm, like an in and out breath, because the universe actually breathes like we breathe. You see, they breathe like we do. So the Force is the universal breath, the universal wind. You see what I'm saying? That's why they call it the universal wind, because the universe actually breathes in and out. It breathes from the source. When it's breathing into the source, that's inhaling. When it's breathing out of the source or the pleroma, that's exhaling. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. This living intelligence flows to and from the pleroma, like an in and out breath, because the universe breathes like we breathe, right? From there, the Force flows in, through, and around all living things, where it always animates, revitalizes, operates, and destroys behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? This is what they talking about. You know, there's a world behind the world. You know, there's not just this physical plane. There's a whole other realm behind this, operating it, charging it, moving it. And there's this universal intelligence that's animating this whole thing, operating this whole thing, and actually destroying this whole thing when it needs to. You see what I'm saying? It does these three principles when necessary. You know? What's up, August? It does these three principles when necessary. So that's what the Force is. It is literally a living, breathing intelligence, a cosmic unified field. You see what I'm saying? So don't let them get it twisted. The Force is in everything and everyone. Or the life force, as y'all just as they call it. They just took out life and just replaced life with the. So everybody has this life force. The life force is the animating principle of existence. You see what I'm saying? It's what gives everything in existence its life. Nothing in existence nothing exists without this life energy. See what I'm saying? Nothing exists without this life energy. For example, I'm sitting in this car. You think that the atoms in this car is not channeling life force to hold this car together? You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Or a tree. You think the atoms in that tree is not channeling life force so they continue to hold that tree together? Because if it wasn't channeling life force and all those atoms was to leave that tree and move the fuck on, then that tree was literally just vaporized. It would literally decay right on site. You see what I'm saying? On the spot. So this is what you got going on. Let's see here. The Force also binds all things in the cosmos together in one harmonious pattern of interconnectedness, which we call the web of life. But scientists call it the string theory. See, these Cabal scientists call it the string theory, which is pretty much their way of saying this is a multidimensional universe. You see what I'm saying? That's basically what they're saying. But we've been saying it all along in our teachings. But you know, they don't like to admit that our teachings were thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of years more advanced than their teachers. So they shut our shit down for a little while, leave it, and then they come back later, and then they'll come with their own version, corrupted version of what we were saying, and then they'll bring it out like they brought out string theory. You see what I'm saying? They already knew what we knew, but they can't. What's up, Alexis? They can't accept that we already knew it. So they just stay away from it for about 10, 15 years. Then they'll bring it out to the next generation, knowing that they don't even know what's going on. And so now the next generation think that they are the ones who found out this information, when in actuality the information has existed the whole time from all the indigenous beings across the planet. So that's what you got going on here. This is what you got going on. The Jedi of old and new harnesses the power of the force or life force and the source primordial energies of the pleroma to help awaken, heal, and ascend the people of our planet to high dimensional frequencies. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on here. This is what they did. They would take, especially highly gifted spiritual people who already had their high midichlorian count. They would take them, teach them, and train them. But even if you didn't have a super high midichlorian count, they still would teach you martial arts and all that other cool stuff that they teach, you know, when they got a chance. You know, they would still teach you that. So, since they taught that, and that will raise your midichlorian count to whatever it need to be. So even if you weren't on a level, you still would get a certain level of training so that you can reach your highest height for this life. That way you can go on and become that architect, help build that pyramid, become that farmer, help grow all the foods and crops, and see to that everybody fed, help become that cook who cooks the food that the farmers are creating, you know, delicious meals or whatever, who do all these things. You see what I'm saying? You go on to become the engineer to help build starships so we can have access to outer space travel. You go on to become that physicist, you know, who are creating the calculations and mathematical connotations for this particular group. See what I'm saying? This particular group. So this you got going on here. This you got going on, y'all. So what's happening here is you're seeing a perversion of what our ancestors are taught, are teaching us. These motherfuckers have literally created a perverted version of every teaching and system we've taught on this planet. See what I'm saying? If you don't believe me, matter of fact, you ain't gotta believe me, because I got a list of that shit that I'm gonna show y'all later. You know what? I got a whole list of that shit to show y'all, to blow y'all minds. You see what I'm saying? Now, the Jedi of old knew a secret. When they transmuted themselves into the Gnostics, they told us the whole truth as to why they were working so hard to escape this dimension. You see what I'm saying? Why are they working so hard to escape this dimension? Turns out that this material realm is ruled by the blind god Yaldabaoth, the demiurge. Demiurge literally means half impulse, half vampire. You see what I'm saying? Which translates to vampire, actually. Half impulse. You see what I'm saying? And the other half is his angelic self, which is Nebruel or Nebro / Samael. He also goes by that as well. Right? So, he's a vampire. So, that's feeding off you. So, they knew that we never failed from anything. This artificial matrix was defective / corrupt from the beginning. Let me re-say that. They knew that we never fell from anything. We didn't fall from grace. We didn't fall from our power. We didn't do none of that. What really happened was this artificial matrix, this material world that motherfucking Yaldabaoth and this archonic host, his spiritual jailers created, was defective / corrupt from the beginning. See what I'm saying? What's up, Jewel? What's up, Kalima? That's why all the ancient civilizations was working so hard to ascend out of this dark dimension. They knew that everything in this material universe is ruled by Yaldabaoth and his archonic jailers. See what I'm saying? What are the archons? They spiritual vampires, spiritual jailers, and y'all heard me talk about them on multiple occasions. And they world rulers. They rule the planetary energies, the planetary spheres. They rule all that shit. You know what I'm saying? All this is ran by them. They also knew that everything down here is reversed and adds backwards. So they even corrupted the Jedi Order by creating a perversion of it in the form of the Jedi Order in Star Wars. George Lucas got his information from downloads from the demiurge and from these so-called mystery schools that they got set up, which raises Cabal Jedi or Cabal warriors and Cabal mystics. You see what I'm saying? You know, Golden Dawn and all them motherfuckers, you know. The Boule and the Freemasonry, you know, all them motherfuckers. You know, all them produce. What's up, Miss Pat? All them produce these Cabal mystics, and they have them scattered all over the planet. They even got to the Buddhist monks. Even they done sold out. You see what I'm saying? They done sold out now. You know, they riding around getting in Mercedes now. You see what I'm saying? Because they paying the Pope a percentage, and the Pope looking out for them. See what I'm saying? So everybody has sold out around here. It's nothing but pure perversion down here. You know, everything been reversed. So now, he also helped from our very own. So now he also had help from our very own indigenous Cabal Jedi, who gave him the Jedi sciences and told him to call the real Jedi with a D, Sith, which is still connecting us to the priesthood of Set/Soot. You see what I'm saying? So let me say that again. So now he also had help from our very own indigenous Cabal Jedi, these Berber Moors who running the show from behind the scene, who gave him the Jedi sciences and told him to call the real Jedi, i.e. us, the Sith, which is still connecting us to the priesthood of Set/Soot in Star Wars. So he made us the Sith in Star Wars, right? The Sith teachings tell how to master the dark side, which is our melanin. And he usually represented by the Wasp Scepter. And the Wasp Scepter literally had this, they call it the Set animal, right? And the Set animal is actually your melanin, right? So this P gang here. They gave the Sith red lightsabers because the average melanated indigenous person is vibrating on their root chakra and using the raw power of their melanin to steal, kill, betray, and gossip to demoralize each other because they are under a spell. You see what I'm saying? They are under a spell. See what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on here. They are under a spell. So now, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me slow it down here for a second and show you what I mean by this. You know? Who are these Reds? Who are these Sith that I'm talking about? Originally in Star Wars, the Sith were a pure blood race. See what I'm saying? Or an indigenous race who lived on the planet Korriban, which was fashioned after ancient Egypt. You see what I'm saying? And some a pinch of Sumeria is like a mixture of both ancient Egypt and Sumeria, right? So this is what they look like. This is what they look like. Right? Here go another picture of them. Another one. The Masasi Wars. They make them look monstrous and demonic because they know that your melanin is demonic. Monstrous. You see what I'm saying? You literally have a melanin monster inside of you. So you know. Go another cool picture. Lady Sith. There you go. Give you one more. There you go. You can see her. So yeah, this what the original Sith looked like. So they gave them what? A red lightsaber. How they know? See, the Sith pure blood in Star Wars is not talking about them in ancient times. That's why they fucking you up. They talking about us now. They're not talking about us in the future or in the past. They talking about us now. as we are right now on the physical plane. Everything that the Sith do is what we do right now at this time. They said that the Sith betray, steal, kill, murder, pillage, and plunder, and they about power. That's exactly everything we've been doing since we've been up under this archonic spell on the third dimension, right? You know, they even the Sith code tells it all. Peace is a lie. There's only passion, because we are living off our passions to survive. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no peace when you're trying to survive. You know that. You see what I'm saying? Through passion, I gain power. Why do you gain power through passion? Because you're fulfilling your desires. So you're getting what you need out of life due to you fulfilling your desires. Through power, I gain victory. You see what I'm saying? And what do they mean by victory? Well, when you got the power, see, most people try to get you to fight and shit, but actually, in order to, before you can fight the power, you gotta first gain the power to fight, right? So once you gain the power to fight, now you have the strength to overcome the bullshit, and in overcoming that bullshit, you become victorious. And they said, through victory, your chains are broken. You see what I'm saying? Your chains are broken. Why your chains broken? The shackles that bound you in that particular prison, in that particular cell, would be it mentally, spiritually, soulfully, or physically, you were able to shatter. You were able to shatter that particular paradigm. And so the Force, the last stanza of the Sith code, the Force shall set me free, or just the Force shall free me, right? So the Force shall set me free, right? So now the Force that you've acquired, the strength that you've acquired, the internal strength you've acquired from dealing with the bullshit, has made you stronger. So now it has set you free. And now you have what? A new perspective on life. Because you are the new being with a new level of awareness. And this is literally what we are going through. The Sith code is for us. Whereas that punk-ass Jedi code is for them, because they not living like us. They living good. You see what I'm saying? What they say? What's the Jedi code? The Jedi code goes something like, there's no passion, there's peace. There's no emotion, there's knowledge. It's two more stanzas there. You know, of course, there's no passion, there's peace. Because they don't have to operate on passion. They don't have to operate on survival. They good. They sitting on top of the throne. What you need passion for when you already in power? You see what I'm saying? So it's all peace to them. We living in a peaceful society. You go to their suburbs or they high class society, they living in peace. So ain't no passion, ain't no need for passion when you living in peace. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So there is no ignorance. There's knowledge, right? There is no ignorance. There's knowledge. So they got all the knowledge, they got all the books, they got all the text. So there's no reason for you to be stupid when you operating on that level. See what I'm saying? Then there's no chaos. There's serenity. What you need with chaos when you already living in a serene society. You see what I'm saying? You're already living in a serene society. What does serene mean? Serene is just another way of saying peaceful. But, you'll go to the suburbs or these high-class society and it's real quiet. It's a certain sereneness, a certain peaceful music in the vibrations of the background. That's what they talking about when they said there's no chaos, there's serenity. And finally, there's no death, there's the Force. You see what I'm saying? There is no death, there's the Force. Of course, we want to come back down here and continue living this shit over and over again. See what I'm saying? There is no death, there's the Force. Through the Force of our bloodlines and our souls, or just simply spirits, we want to incarnate back down here as much as possible to experience this bliss that we set up at the behest, on the backs of the Sith. You see what I'm saying? Which is the indigenous people of our world. That's what they got going on here. That's why they got going on here, which leads me to my next statement. Meanwhile, the Cabal Jedi are still using spells and the Force to keep Yaldabaoth's spell 616 in place so that they can stay, so we can stay in sleep, in a sleep state, a sleep-like state, and their matrix. Yaldabaoth's spell 616 in place so that we can stay sleep in their matrix, so that we won't wake up to the truth and they can continue to rule over us and control us, right? So that's what they've been doing. That's why when the masses get close to waking up, these archons and the indigenous Cabal Jedi tunes the reality like the strangers did in the movie Dark City to play the game of temporarily waking us up and putting us back to sleep. You see what I'm saying? Putting us back to sleep. That's what they've been doing. Think about it. Everybody, they woke us all up with Black Panther. Then they tried to kill them all. Then they killed them all to put everybody back to sleep. They woke everybody up with Star Wars. Then they put everybody back to sleep with Kobe's death. They've been doing this the whole time. You see what I'm saying? They've been doing this the whole time. Then everybody woke back up again. You know, everybody woke back up again, you know, because the consciousness was getting stronger. Then they put you back to sleep. Then they disrupted reality completely. They tuned reality in with the COVID-19 situation, right? So they gave you 2 weeks off and let you stay awake. They let you stay woke for an extra 2 weeks longer than usual to get to set you up for the George Floyd ritual, which they did on Memorial Day. And that's when they put you back to. That's when they created all this rage in the society to burn you out again, so they could vamp all your energy. Then they put you back to sleep again. You see what I'm saying? Because you didn't have the energy to stay awake. You know, you didn't have the energy to stay awake. So this is what you got going on here. This is what happened in here. So they put you back to sleep. It's a continuous cycle. So now everybody start back waking up again because the consciousness is getting stronger and stronger on the planet, right? So they do what? They kill T'Challa, put everybody back to sleep again. You know, they put everybody back to sleep. Now they got the rappers coming out telling everybody about December 21st, 2012, and so they probably gonna kill a rapper, or they even gonna go so far to kill the president just before the Great Convergence, whichever one they gonna do, and that should put you back to sleep just before the Great Convergence. Peep game on that. So now let's continue here. Let's see. Except in Dark City, they wrote it off as an experiment. When in actuality, these archons know exactly what they are doing. It's not an experiment to them. They know exactly what the fuck they doing. It's survival to them. So the Starseeds came back over the last 120 years to assist in destroying their matrix and helping to awaken, heal, and ascend the planet and its people like the Jedi of old did. So now, who are the Jedi of old? Well, before we get to that, who are these Archonic Jedi? What do they look like? You know, in Star Wars, this is what they look like. In Star Wars, they look like this. You know, always wearing robes, always rocking the blue and green lightsabers, which is the heart chakra. So they always fucking with your heart chakra. And they always rocking blue lightsabers. Why? What do all these politicians do? All they do is talk. Throat chakra. You see what I'm saying? All they do is talk. See what I'm saying? All they do is talk shit all day. So that's why the major colors are blue and green. See what I'm saying? I showed you the kids version earlier. Every so often you'll see yellow. They usually the ones with rocking the yellow lightsabers is usually like their security, their police force, their Sentinel class, their U.S. Marshals, and they assassins. You see what I'm saying? They Cabal assassins they got in the background. You know, that's usually the ones rocking yellow lightsabers. The ones who they consider to be, you know, they separate from the order, but they walk among society, are monitoring and controlling society through feeding information to their people. And so when shit pop off, they send them out to make sure that their society continues to run. You see what I'm saying? When somebody trying to buck the system or whatever. So yeah. Here go another picture of them. You see what I'm saying? Just stale ass colors. You know, everybody look the same, everybody walk the same, everybody act the same, everybody believe the same shit. No creativity. You see what I'm saying? No creativity. And I show you pictures with the indigenous woman, you know, and there's another picture with the indigenous man. And these are all Moors, Berber Moors, who are helping to keep this shit going. You know what I'm saying? These are the indigenous Cabal Jedi that we talking about. So yeah. Yeah, so that's why we tell you it ain't always about color. It's about the soul of a person. See what I'm saying? Because a lot of these motherfuckers with color are working against us. You see what I'm saying? With color, you know? It's about the soul of a person. So yeah, let's continue here. But that's what they look like, y'all. That's basically what they look like, just dry-ass uniforms. You see what I'm saying? Just dry-ass uniforms. Everybody look alike, everybody talk alike, everybody act alike. No creativity, nothing. They hate creativity because then creativity leads to rebelliousness, and rebelliousness needs to, rebelliousness need to chaos in their perfect, harmonic, peaceful system. That's why the Jedi Code is the way it is. You see what I'm saying? Here go the picture one more time. So there y'all go. There y'all go. That's what they look like. Now let's continue here. So they relegated the hard work of the Starseeds to the dark side and the Sith in Star Wars because they know that the Starseeds will mostly incarnate into the melanated beings on this planet. You see what I'm saying? To help us see it. So what do these Jedi look like? Well, what do our people look like? Let's go over here. Let's go over here. I got a bunch of pictures for y'all. Y'all gonna love this segment. We're gonna start off with the goddess Sarah. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? She did this for one of her albums. Somebody did the artwork for one of her albums not too long ago. Like a cover book or something like that. And so this is one of her pictures. Oh, we better get into it. This is y'all right here. This is y'all right here. Let's see here. Let's see. Some Washita for y'all. Queen Khalifa. Got a couple pictures of them. And how you look like them. And Omix. I see you with my heart, not my eyes. I hear you with my heart, not my ears. I feel you with my heart, not my hands. I smell and taste your sweetness with my heart, not my nose or tongue. I am a seeker of universal love, the Sheik. I am near. That's deep. That's deep. Another picture of the indigenous. We're starting out over here, and since we over here first, then we'll work our way to ancient Egypt and all the rest of the cultures. How about that? Another dope picture. It's you. Melanated love. And they working so hard to suppress. Another cool picture. Indigenous. She even got a better picture than that with this one. So let's continue here. Check this out, West Side. Check out what they say about the West Side. Washita, the Great West. Ironically, our people, American Aboriginals, gave birth to the West Side hand sign. And in ancient times, our ancestors were always referenced as the West. The word Washita in some Aboriginal languages mean the West. And the name Shi or Shai in ancient Chinese also mean the West. Among a few historical references, everyone knows that our street gangs originally were designed to protect indigenous neighborhoods from corrupt cops. Hashtag know thyself. So there goes another picture of it. Let's continue here. A daughter and her Washita father or grandfather, whichever one. Y'all on the walls. Yeah, y'all gonna love this segment. This is probably one of the biggest segments. I already showed y'all the mermaids, U.S. mermaids, earlier in the lecture. He go to picture of a Mayan, and then Victoria, Santa Cruz. Boom. Look just alike, don't they? You keep coming back here. Right? You want another dope picture? Oh, she got the same hairstyle as Leah Organa, don't she? Yeah, or Leah Organa got the same hairstyle as her. How about that? Because this existed long before Leah Organa. Let's continue here. Let me show you that one again. Know that one mind-blowing. Oh, I know that's a beautiful picture. Y'all gonna love this one. Y'all don't get much Washita, I know art for real. Here go a beautiful picture here. Of the sister. The homies. You got a Washita Empress sitting on her throne. Do another pretty picture. Old mix. Washita. They talking about the feds and shit. Nah, y'all was wearing stylized versions of those hats long before they were. Oh, you working on your chakras? Oh, this one a real fire-ass picture here. So who were the Jedi? When they ask you this question, you tell them this. You tell them this was they were the Jedi. These leopard-skinned, melanated gods and goddesses. Who were they? Who are these beings? Now we into the ancient Egyptian realm. That's Tefnut. Oh, a beautiful picture there. Royalty. You got loyalty and royalty inside your DNA. Ain't that what Kendrick Lamar told you? Nib tit. Can you see him? Yeah, clear up there. Another one. I think that's Kansu, the moon god. Y'all know the picture of him that's even clearer than this. But I like the fact that they showed you the cycles of the moon above his head. And there go Kansu again. There we go. Let's see here. I already showed you this one, this Heru doing this thing with the Force. For another picture, the homies, the pharaohs manipulating the Jedi pillars. Let me see here. The real Jedi. We been wielding lightsabers. that Patah shooting out a beam of light from his forehead? Yep, that's called electroluminescence. Where you able to shoot the beam of light from your pineal gland into other realms. From there, you can actually see into other realms with your physical eyes. It's called electroluminescence. Of course, Darth Vader. Now, interesting thing about Darth Vader. Got a little something I want to say about Darth Vader. The burning up of Anakin Skywalker on Mustafar or Mustafar was them draining him of all his life force for betraying the Jedi Order. So he became a withered up husk, and they made a machine out of him. Eventually, they did not expect for him to wield such power in his weakened state. You see what I'm saying? In his weakened state. So that's what you got going on here. That's what you got going on here. They did not expect for him to wield that kind of power in his weakened state. So they fucked him up when he went around and he helped destroy the Republic, even as Darth Vader. But they didn't understand. He put him in a black suit. So now he has access to his melanin. So even in his weakened state, he used that melanin to do amazing things. And terrible things, of course. There you go. There's you. Royalty. So we just crossed the seas, right? Now we're in ancient Egypt. I want to do this definitely to show y'all that you was royalty on all lands. You know, mainly over here and over there. You know, usually the big two is ancient Egypt and Samaria, but we already know ancient Egypt and Samaria. So I want to do America. I threw America in there first. They go to pyramids in Peru. Oh, yeah, I didn't know there was pyramids in Peru. Yeah, there are pyramids in Peru. The Incans, remember? Oh, Wakanda, baby. He holding up that X with 2 unks. The soul. Let's see here. Here go the homie. Wielding the bow and arrow. A master archer. You got one of the sisters. Beauty. Check out what Dr. Manhattan says here. Once again, we come back to Dr. Manhattan. Accidents happen. That's what everyone says. But in a quantum universe, there are no such things as accidents. Only possibilities and probabilities folded into existence by perception. That's what he says. Oh, there go your boy, Victor Moore, the Forgotten Fury. Victor Moore, the man who beat them all. Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, Joe Louis, and Superfoot Wallace. The first black national karate champion, the Forgotten Fury. The greatest martial artist you never heard of. God is a frequency that exists within you. Tune in. Music, baby. Tune into the God channel and hear some powerful music. There you go. Father and son. The homie with his ancestors backing him. Y'all probably seen this one on Facebook a lot. I'm gonna show it anyway because it's a dope collage. The crystals. All many different crystals. Old mix. Oh. There's a sister who took a picture a few years back, and this is her on the walls of ancient Egypt. She just came back to do this work. Look exactly the same, right? Love when we ancient melanated love when we was in power. Another sister here, chilling. There you go. You always see the ladies with hanging around lions and tigers and wolves. That cat energy. And sometimes that wolf energy. Now y'all gonna love this picture. Check this one out. Sister meditating on the Buddha who is meditating. Bodhidharma. Now, that one was fire to me, even me. I was like, damn, I gotta show him this one. Here go the ladies again. Yo, Ted Hootie. Pretty much residing over this message. Oh yeah, Darth Vader and the Sphinx. Can't forget that one. These connections, right? All these connections. They said coincidence, the dark side, the black land. Goddamn. In your face. In my face. In our face. Of course. The Jedi. The Jed pillar. The lightsaber. You. The goddesses to the left. The goddesses right here. Look like they're doing some kind of ritual. That's really your inner feminine energy. Right here, then another picture of the Jed pillar up there to the top. And it says, the real Djedi is Jehudi, Grand Master, a divine Naga, universal black being, return of the Jedi, EYE. Oh, so Asar and Yoda one and the same. Another connection. Also the Baphomet. Green represents the color of rebirth, or black. So both black and green represent the color of rebirth, alluding to fertility of the Nile floodplain. The black god, the one they made a mystery spook, ghost, and alien. The black man. Who all the aliens literally come from an image of Asar. There you go. Another image. Using the Jed pillar to empower the serpentine force, the Kundalini energy, to channel the Kundalini force upward to your crown chakra. That's what they doing in this picture. And of course, it's just a dope picture. I think I showed this earlier, but I'll show it again. You meditating. Yeah, anytime you see the pharaohs look like this, they usually meditating, by the way. If y'all didn't know. Of course, real dope picture. Melanated man and guy in a royal state, as it should be. So there y'all go. That's pretty much my image session for this. I really want to do that to really show y'all, give y'all a feel. And as y'all can see, y'all all over the world. I showed y'all Gnosticism, Sumerianism, ancient Comitianism, Washitaism or Washoism. Yep. So now, let me give y'all a rundown of the perversions that they created of our orders. The Starseed versus the Cabal. Here we go. You got the Jedi, Djedi, versus their Cabal Jedi, Jedi. You got the priesthood of Soot/Set, and they call us, in their world, they call us the Sith. That's what they call the indigenous people. You got the Order of Starseeds versus their Order of Archons. You got the Legion of Doom, which is us, versus their Super Friends. You got the Black Order, created by Thanos, or Thanatos, the Greek titan of death and rebirth, who is Asa in the Greek world. And he created the Black Order in the Marvel universe. So you got the Black Order versus the Avengers, super soldiers, their super soldiers. You got our Melanin Monsters versus their Archangels or Archons. You see what I'm saying? Archons or Archons. You know what I'm saying? You got the Star Walkers versus their Skywalkers. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what they doing here? We the Star Walkers, but they created a perversion of that called the Skywalkers, and what the Skywalkers did. Well, Anakin, he actually tried to free us from this shit, but Luke want to put us right back into the Republic. Him and Leia, they want to put us right back into this shit. Lock us right back down. They woke us up with Anakin. They want to put us right back to sleep with Luke and Leia. So let's continue here. The Gemini twins, right? Heka, we have Heka, magic, and they use what? Wicca. Or what they commonly call witchcraft. But it's really called Wicca. You see what I'm saying? Witchcraft is what they use in the Bible to throw you off, but they actually call it Wicca. See what I'm saying? Which is a lower form of magic. See what I'm saying? A lower form of magic. We have occult science, and they deal in high and low magic. See, they separate it. See what I'm saying? They got low magic, which is what they usually deal in, and then they got high magic, usually what the shit they can't really fuck with. Whereas in us, it's just occult science. You see what I'm saying? It's just occult science. We teach, Starseeds teach metaphysics versus their corrupt Cabal sciences. You see what I'm saying? Their corrupt Cabal sciences. We got what you like to call Sekhem Ka, or Sekhem, S-E-K-H-E-M, Ka, K-A, which is the power of the spiritual force, or the life force. That's what we call it. They call it Vril, or the corrupt spiritual force, or them using the life force to corrupt shit, basically. You know, the force is one big giant entity, but the way they're using it, that's how they fucking this up. Next you have empathy, our empathy versus their narcissism. You have Ab-Ba, A-B-B-A, or the heart soul versus their transhumanism. They want to turn you into a robot. You see what I'm saying? Cyborg around this motherfucker. You know, automaton. That's what they aiming to do to humanity. We have Ba, B-A, Sekhem, or soul power versus their vampirism. You know, their vampiric archonic powers. You see what I'm saying? We deal in powers of the soul. You see what I'm saying? Powers of the sun, the solar force. You know, the soul force. Whereas they deal in vampirism. All they want to do is feed off us and eat off us and drain us, right? We have Reiki, or healing and regeneration, which deals in healing and regeneration. They have Masonic humiliation. All they do to their people is embarrass them. You know, that's how they come up, so they can blackmail them, just in case, so they won't rebel against their order. That's how they keep their people in check. Let's see here. We got Seku Aku, known as the Phoenix Rising or Ascension. Also, Phoenix Rising or Ascension, Seku Aku. They have domination / descension. They're just trying to dominate the world, control it, and degenerate it, and keep us in a state of deception. We have what you like to call the rise to who you supposed to become, which is us ascending out of this matrix and operating outside of the archon's extra low field of vision. You see what I'm saying? Because all archons are actually blind guides outside of this material realm. You see what I'm saying? Then you have what they call the fall. The fall to the dark side basically means you are rebelling against Yaldabaoth's light, archonic intelligence, and his matrix. So there you go. There you go. That's what they're doing here. That's what they're doing. So yeah. Another message I want to tell y'all: what happened to the pyramids? They found, and the answer to that is why such powerful energies as the pyramids so shut down. And the answer is they found timelines with their Stargate technologies and CERN machine. They found timelines where the pyramids were inoperational, and they juxtaposed them onto our reality. They used our emotions while we were asleep and everything to juxtapose the shutting down of the pyramids onto our reality. So that's why in our reality, the pyramids seem to just be goddamn shut down buildings. You see what I'm saying? Shut down buildings. So that's what you got going on here with these motherfuckers. So that's what they did. That's what they did. So like always, they tried to hijack your past, but now you're woken to the past. They're trying to hijack your now, your present, but we are woke in the present. So now all that's left to do is hijack your future. So they're trying their best to keep you asleep so that you won't wake up to what you're going to become in the future. And what are you going to become in the future? What are you going to become? This is what you're going to become, a futuristic Jedi Master. See what I'm saying? This is me showing Sarah picture again. See what I'm saying? You're going to become this. So yeah, that's what you're going to become. Let me see if I got any other pictures to show that. Let's see here. Let's see. Any other pictures that's just as dope as that one? Do I got laying around? Let me see here. Any other futuristic pictures do I have anymore? I just got it laying around for no reason. Here you go, Q-Ron, the homie, wielding the lightsaber. You know, they always using us for their energies or whatever. They always using us to do their works. But you're going to become more like Icon. You know, you're going to become more like Icon in the future. See what I'm saying? Just a futuristic super god or superhero. Thought I had some more. It look like I don't. I don't see any. They're always using us for their fuckery. And some of them know that they using them and don't care because they want the power of this society now. And others don't really realize what they're really doing until it's too late. Y'all know how this go. Y'all know how this go. Yeah, I don't have that many futuristic pictures. I'll work on that next time. Yep, I'll work on that next time. But y'all seen Icon and the sister saw right with her lightsaber, so hope that'll do for this particular lecture. Hope that will do. So, end note. So it's like always, the Jedi Starseeds fighting the Cabal Jedi, you know, through the Force, not with weapons of war, to take control over the destiny of the planet and its people. So that's what you got going on here. That's basically what's happening here. Let me see here. Do I got any videos for y'all? Let's see. Do I? I think I have one or two. Ah, here we go. White boy tells the truth. White boy tells the truth about their version of the Jedi Order. How about that? Shit, you know you can find truth anyway. And everybody telling the truth now because everybody's sick of the bullshit. See what I'm saying? Check this out, y'all.
Alright, so, first off, let's talk about the Jedi just a little bit more. I really appreciate a lot of what Anna brought forward around the insights of the Jedi in Star Wars. And I'd like to expound upon that and say, you know, the Jedi is not just a concept that George Lucas came up with in Star Wars.
There you go.
There is a concept in ancient Egypt that is known as the Djed. And the Djed is the D-J-E-D, as we translate it, is known as the pillar between worlds. It's a staff in all of the drawings, and if you go to Egypt and you look at the hieroglyphs, you'll see an image that looks like a pillar, and it goes up to the top, and then there's these three lines near the top of the pillar. Now, in Egyptian cosmology, the idea is that this pillar connects all the worlds together, and that these three lines represent the lines of human consciousness. In other words, how we perceive the universe. And in the stack of this pillar, it's just a small spectrum that is our general perception. But that general perception is split into three worlds, which is the gross, etheric, and astral world, or as we are more familiar with calling them, the physical world, our emotional worlds, and our mental worlds. And if we understand that our reality and our perceptions of our reality are really sculpted by these three layers of our experience, then we also get to understand that we can change and adapt all of our experience just by changing our proficiency in dealing with experiences on each of these layers. What's also important to understand about these three layers is that in Egyptian magic, the understanding is that you can connect your physical, emotional, and mental layers together. And when you fully do that and you engage your spirit, which transcends them all, you begin to align yourself with your deepest purpose and your highest work in your life. And you are also given the gift of being able to then manifest and create, literally resonating the Djed to change the world and the fabric of space-time around you. You can think of it like a tuning fork that when struck, and the fork is completely unrestricted, all three layers of your being, your physical, emotional, and mental being, vibrate out into the fabric of space-time and begin to ripple through that quantum vacuum and change the conditions around you. Now, users of the Djed and the wisdom keepers of the Djed have often in Egypt been called the Jedi. Now, there are a variety of different stories that have come through different hieroglyphics about the Jedi, and some of those stories articulate the Jedi as a group of magi who helped to build the pyramids and unpacked a lot of the secrets of construction around Egypt. And there are other stories that point the finger saying there was one person named Jedi. But I'm much more inclined to believe that the former is the case, and that the understanding of the Jedi is simply a term that refers to these magi who understood this fundamental concept around the flow of the universe. The word Jedi is is also present in other cultures. It's present in Kabbalah under the form Jedi, and it also plays a role in a variety of other forms throughout the world. But if you want to explore a little bit more about the understandings of the Jedi and their relationship to the serpent of Kundalini and also the dragons throughout space-time, I highly recommend reading the book by Mark Pinkham called Return of the Serpent Bearers of Wisdom. It's a fantastic book which covers a lot of the history of the dragon tribes on this planet and their spread from Lemuria through, or Mu more appropriately, through Atlantean civilizations and then out into different areas around the world. So that's a great resource for you guys to pick up when you have a chance.
Didn't he tell it? Didn't he tell that shit there? Oh, he told it, didn't he? He let y'all know what the Jedi was. You see what I'm saying? He let y'all know what it was right off the bat. It was a historical concept out of ancient Egypt. Now let's listen to the homies.
In a minute.
Let me start over here.
When it comes to Hollywood, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything in Hollywood has ties dating back to occultism, mysticism, ancient old Enochian magic. Nothing new in Hollywood is original or groundbreaking, mind-blowing. It's all been done before, just stories retold or rediscovered and spun in a new light. Case in point, Star Wars. George Lucas, that whole series of films. When we were little, we all couldn't believe the imagination this man had and thought everything that he put on pen to paper was from his own thoughts. But as we grow older, we know different. George Lucas has been privy to a lot of old information, stories, references, teachings, all that good sort. Mainly in point, the return of the Jedi. The Jedi do exist, existed, has existed, and I'll get into that in a minute. But I'll just give a rough reference point. The stormtroopers. You know, the stormtroopers in the Star Wars movies that can never hit a moving target or a standing target. Well, we all know that George Lucas got the inspiration from the Nazi SS troopers. But that's child's play. What we're going to do is get into some high science, and in the words of the immortal KRS-One, we're going to break this down to its very last compound. Now, those that grew up coveting the powers of the Jedi will be pleased to learn that the Masters of the Force did indeed exist at some point in time. Records of them survive certain countries such as Egypt and Persia, where they were magician priests and guardians of the powerful priests, similar to the Emperor of Star Wars. In ancient Egypt, surviving histories reveal that the Jedi manifested as the Jedi, D-J-E-D-I, hence the name Jedi, which was a sect of the priesthood and masters of the Force that protected the Pharaoh. And in Persia, they were the Narts, guardians of a holy grail called the Nartmong, and the protectors of enlightened priest kings who lived at least 1,000 years before King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. Two early sects of Jedi Knights were first introduced to the West by the Knights Templar, who upon returning from the Middle East in the 13th and 14th centuries distilled Jedi histories learned from the Sufis into a series of lengthy Holy Grail legends. The Templars synthesized the powerful emperors and priest kings of the past into enigmatic figures of the Fisher King, the resident of a Grail castle and the owner of various manifestations of the Holy Grail. His well-being and safekeeping of his castle's Holy Grail relics was given over to an order of Knights of the Grail, who were a distillation of the early Jedi Knights from Egypt and Persia. This truth was boldly and
Those are Gnostics, by the way, who we talking about right there. That's who it was given to after the fall of ancient Egypt.
Authoritatively proclaimed by Enaparazevo by Knight Wolfram von Eschenbach, whom he specifically referred to the Fisher King's Holy Grail Knights as Templars, Parzival, as well as other historical references put forth in the Middle Ages regarding the Templars imply that the Knights had inherited wisdom of the Force that had been passed down to them almost directly from their ancient antecedent Jedi Knights.
Yep.
The formation of the Knights Templar in roughly 1118 CE could be historically entitled The Return of the Jedi. In recorded history, the secrets of the Force of the Jedi Knights were first taught among the Egyptian Jedi, who may have received them from a much earlier prehistorical Jedi Knight order, perhaps one from Atlantis. One Jedi priest mentioned in the Egyptians' Westcar papyrus is said to have possessed the key that opened the secret chambers of the sanctuary of Thoth, who many esoteric...
The key to opening the secret chambers of Thoth, or thought. So they talking about the secret chambers of your mind and the secret chambers of your chakras. That the chambers are usually chakras, by the way.
Historians believe he was a missionary and master of the Force from Atlantis. Within the sanctuary were books authored by Thoth that covered in detail the physics behind activating and developing the Force through alchemy, the art that Thoth Hermes would eventually become the recognized patron of throughout the world.
The emerald tablets of Thoth is your heart chakra, the secrets of your heart chakra. That's why the emerald is green. See what I'm saying? And so it's a spell in the emerald tablets of Thoth that you can activate, that you can recite, and it transport you to inside your heart chakra where you meet Tehuti inside of your heart chakra, because your heart mind or your heart intelligence is the first mind. So Tehuti, before he dwells up here, you have to go in here and see him first. Then he ascends up here with you. You see what I'm saying? Into your crown. You see what I'm saying? That's how it works. So that's why the tablets are emerald and not ultraviolet or purple. Peep game.
Through Thoth's alchemy, the esoteric symbol of which is the caduceus, a future Jedi could awaken the normally dormant serpent power, the fiery force at the base of the spine, and then move it up towards his head, where it would culminate in supernatural powers and intuitive Gnostic wisdom. The proof that a Jedi had accomplished this alchemy is intrinsic to his name, which was essentially an honorific title. The Jed of Jedi denoted column, while the root word of the sound DJ denoted serpent. Thus, a Jedi was one who had awakened the DJ or serpent at its seat, and then raised it up on his head, his or her head, her Jed.
What is that seat that you were raising the Kundalini from? You talking about your root chakra? Because what? The Kundalini is wrapped around your root chakra, also known as the perineum chakra, at the base of your spine, which is that little point, that little soft spot that connects your ass and either your penis or your vagina. You see what I'm saying? That little soft spot up under there. That's where your root chakra is. So that awakens, your Kundalini awaken there, then it rises up to your sacral chakra at the base of the back of your spine. That's when you usually really feel it. Usually probably don't pay attention to it. That's why a lot of people mistaken the back of your spine for the root chakra when it's actually that little soft spot, that also known as the perineum area, on your body. You see what I'm saying? And it rises up the back of your spine up into your crown chakra, that Kundalini force. You see what I'm saying? So let's continue here. So good information. Pretty much summarizing everything I said here today.
Column or spine to the head. Those Jedi that succeeded in this inner ascension could potentially become immortal, which is yet another meaning of Jedi.
As y'all can see, the lightsaber colors ain't nothing but the rays of light, and the chakra colors and the aura colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and white. What is white? White represents enlightenment, the enlightened consciousness. That's what white represents. And black represents your melanin, of course. The dark saber is what they call it. So let's continue here.
Serpent force rises up the spine. Its alchemical fire of transformation moves within every cell of its body and raises the frequency of human flesh to that of immortal, pure energy. Because of the spine's association with immortality, the jet column or pillar became the Egyptians' symbol of immortality, and they traditionally covered their mummies in sarcophagi with symbolic jet images in hopes of achieving immortal life here in the after. Through raising the inner serpent power, the Jedi acquired an abundance of force which could be used to perform supernatural feats similar to those associated with Lucas's Jedi. For example, the Jedi of the Westcar Papyrus, who possessed the key to the secrets of the Chambers of Thoth, was said to have acquired the power to reattach the severed heads of animals at will. Other Jedi are mentioned in Egyptian history as traversing the scorching Egyptian sands with only their magical staffs and or becoming powerful magicians in the service of the pharaohs. Some Jedi are found in the service of the pharaoh that most...
There you go. Ain't that a saw? Alright. And the pharaoh? Yeah, they're like the pharaoh. There you go. Pause that picture so y'all can see it a little bit better. Alright, let's continue.
Moses and Aaron confronted in order to demand freedom for the Hebrews. At the Pharaoh's command, his Jedi magicians turned their staffs into live serpents, which represented the serpent power that each Jedi possessed. But Aaron's staff also turned into a snake, albeit a much larger snake than those of the Jedi, and it proceeded to consume their smaller serpents, thus proving the superiority of his serpent powers to theirs.
That's bullshit, by the way.
The wisdom of the Jedi that the Knights Templar...
The God in the Bible is Yaldabaoth. So, of course, in his storyline, his Hebrews or Nebrews power usurps the power of the Jedi. Of course, we know that. We know that's bullshit, right? So let's continue.
Learn about may have first entered the Middle East. As far as the Exodus, since Mateo tells us that the Hebrew leader Moses had been initiated into all the secrets of Egypt's priesthoods during his formative years in the country. The wisdom of the Jedi may have also arrived many years later, when the Dal Nun al-Misri traveled from Egypt to the Middle East after spending many years studying the alchemical hieroglyphs.
There you go. Yeah, so y'all can, these pictures are a little old, that's why I'm stopping, so y'all get a chance to see it. Let's continue here.
Covering the temples and obelisks of Egypt. With the esoteric wisdom he discovered, Dal Nun al-Misri founded the Albana, the Sufi sect of Freemasons. According to the Sufi Idris Shah, the Albana were teachers of the Templars during the years the Knights resided in the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount. Much of the wisdom of alchemy and the force that resulted in the Templar-Albana intercourse was later taken into the continent of Europe by Templars who assimilated it into fledgling speculative Freemasonry. The Order of the Jedi Knights, known by the Templars, was of the Order of the Knights, masters of the force of the ancient Persian Empire, possibly as old or older than the Jedi of Egypt. The Nards may have existed as early as King Jamshid, one of the incipient Persian kings of legend who ruled during the time of Aryan Vahaji, the Persian Golden Age, that some historians have placed as early as 20,000 BCE. Jamshid was a classic example of the Fisher King of Grail legend in that he suffered a fall from pride and lost his force, or far, as it was called in Persia.
Right.
Although he had previously adhered to a righteous path and had been a renowned master of the force. Jamshid endangered a lineage of far-empowered priests that culminated in the highly spiritual Kayani dynasty founded by King Ki Khosrow, the Persian King Arthur. Persian records state that, like King Arthur, Ki Khosrow possessed the knights, or the Nards, who were associated with the Holy Grail of the Nardmong, and conducted their meetings around a similar table, similar to Arthur's Round Table. The mystical legends of Ki Khosrow and his Nards were eventually compiled into the Nard sagas during the later Persian Empire and have been regarded as Persian counterparts to Europe's Holy Grail legends.
There you go.
What little we know today of the Persian art suggests that these Neo-Jedi Knights were continually seeking to increase their force in order to become warrior adepts with a high level of spiritual purity and enlightenment. Only those with dedication to the king and country were immaculate could hope to increase their far to the degree needed in order to drink from the Nartmung when it is passed around the Persian round table. Certain nards increased their far to such a degree that they became the obvious choice to succeed an outgoing king. Some, like King Ki Losrap of the Khayanid dynasty, became endowed with a mystical temperament and an abundance of Gnostic insight. The Jedi secrets of the Force possessed by the early Persian kings and their nards were preserved within Persian civilization as popular legends for many hundreds of years. Then, in the 11th century, the founder of the Order of Assassins, that was to become a huge influence on the Knights Templars, revived the ancient Nard tradition. He resurrected the secrets of the Force and
the original creator of the Order of Assassins was known as her son Ibn Sabah, and he actually studied in the mystery systems in Cairo, Egypt at that time. And so he studied it, and then he took it back to Persia, set up shop in the mountains, in the fortress in the mountains of Persia called the Alamut, and then he began to train his assassins in the ways of the Force. Yeah, and he actually they worshipped the skull, which is actually another form of the Baphomet, or Bane of Jedi in their version. So all this shit is connected.
Founded a cadre of knights to serve him. Hassan chose for his court the castle of Alamut, the Eagle's Nest, which was located high in the Alborz Mountains, the region of northern Persia that had been anciently the seat of Persian kings. Hassan learned the secrets of the Force by studying the Nard legends and by traveling to Cairo in his younger years for the purpose of mastering 9 mystical degrees of a Sufi mystery school centered within the city. After his graduation, Hassan left Egypt and returned home quickly to establish himself as one of the greatest alchemists that Persia has ever seen. He subsequently founded his own mystery school of 9 degrees, which eventually became known as the Order of the Assassins. The degrees of alchemical purification of Hassan's school, which Hassan cryptically referred to as the 9 steps of ascension up the mystical mountain of Kaf, assisted by his assassin knights in awakening the inner force and acquiring Gnosis. Hassan's manual for his mystery school, the Sargazast-e-Sayyidna, provided a step-by-step guide to the alchemical practices that would lead an aspiring knight to the summit of Kaf. Through their encounters with Sinan and his knights, the Templars who had nearby castles in Syria learned of some of the assassins' secrets of the Force. The Templars felt an affinity with the assassins since they were both renegade orders of knights aspiring to alchemy and Gnosis while being ostensibly members of a fundamentalist religion. Sinan, who the Templars came to call the Old Man of the Mountains, awed the knights with his powers, and they coveted his alchemy, which they eventually learned from both him and his knights, as well as various forms of Sufi sects. As a complement to what would eventually become the prodigious amount of Sufi teaching they acquired, the Knights Templar also inherited the Gnostic teachings of the Johannite Gnostic Church, which had been passed down from them from a series of Grand Masters, beginning with John the Baptist. Interesting.
That's John the Baptist.
The Templars' secrets of the Force eventually passed into some of the secret societies of Europe, including the Rosicrucians and Freemasons, and for a while this wisdom survived in its purity, but it would eventually become grossly distorted, hidden, or completely forgotten, and the era of the Jedi Knights would come to a grinding halt. But now, certain Templar organizations are making a concerted effort to resurrect the Jedi Knight Order wisdom of Egypt, Persia, and the early Templars. Let's see what else we have. The word wizard comes from those who held the staff of power, which was called the Wasar. Osiris was the life force within creation. His backbone, the Jed or Jedi, hence the force of the Jedi Knights of Star Wars, Osiris was called Alsar, or as well as Wasser. The Wasser staffs were electrical conductors of power, hence the wizards were Wassers or Osiris's using Wasser wands for their hexes. The The main tenet of the Star Wars universe is completion of the circle, or finding the balance between good and evil. It is a metaphor.
Another thing that these lines represent on the Jedi pill is the 4 degrees of Jedi mastery, from Padawan to from youngling to Padawan to Jedi Knight to Jedi Master. By the way, you see what I'm saying, or from opposite direction, depending on how they're using it. So that's those are the 4 degrees you go through. You go from a youngling, which is a learner, to a Padawan, sort of like a teenager in the Force. Then you go into the Jedi Knight, which is full adulthood, and finally you get into the Jedi Master, which is you've reached full maturity in the Force. You see what I'm saying? Then you got Grand Master, which you've become an elder in the Force, and so on and so forth after that. So yeah, that's what they mean by this. You see, that's what they mean.
For knowing whether you are on the wrong side or whether you are becoming destructive. The purpose of the ritual was to preserve order and repel chaos.
Let me see what he will.
Or whether you are becoming destructive.
Let me start over since I stopped.
Osiris was the life force within creation. His backbone, the Jed or Jedi, hence the force of the Jedi Knights of Star Wars. Osiris was called Alsar, or as well as Wasser. The Wasser staffs were electrical conductors of power, hence the wizards were Wassers or Osiris's, using Wasser wands for their hexes. The main tenet of the Star Wars universe is completion of the circle, or finding the balance between good and evil. It is a metaphor for knowing whether you are on the wrong side or whether you are becoming destructive. The purpose of the ritual was to preserve order and repel chaos. In order to do this first, it had to be an effort to raise this awareness, or Jed. Those that did this were known as Jedi. Our typical symbols such as the circle, the spiral, trees, and a pillar or a pole were magically and ritually employed to preserve essential order. These symbols all have a connection to the sun and the worship of the sun. Historically, the Jed was raised at crucial...
What is it? Summer solstice? The circle of life.
Transitional times between cycles, evoking light and stability to dispel darkness and disorder. Such periods were the winter solstices, the failing years of a reigning monarch, or the coronation of a new one. A tower or obelisk that is symbolic of the connection and the balance of all things in heaven and in earth now represents the Jed.
That's the secret symbolism of the obelisk. That's why they have one in Washington, D.C. They channeling their energy.
Originally, the Jed represented Nature Ptah, who was called a noble Jed, but later on it came to represent the Nature Asir. Jed pillars were painted along the bottom of the coffin to symbolize becoming Asar and the afterlife, and associating the deceased with the royal house of Kem or Kemet. The Jedi come forth during the changing of the cycles, sun cycle, moon cycle, etc. It means to stabilize a chaotic planet and set everything to order before the coming or with the coming of the new age. As a celestial...
Let me stop him there. What he said? He said, the Jedi come during the changing of the cycle. That's mostly when we come back. During the changing of the cycle, whether it be into a moon cycle or into a sun cycle, to help awaken, heal, and stabilize the people and the planet during those trials or those times of the great shift, until we ascend the planet into the new age and it begins. You see what I'm saying? And then from there we begin to set up orders or temples or hierarchies or whatever we do to set up places of power where you can learn to harness this force. This happens whether it's a moon cycle or a solar cycle. It started in the beginning of the Piscean age. The originals were the Gnostics, the samurai, of course the Watchtower still up and kicking. The Olmecs are still up and kicking. The Incas, these were all the last Jedi. The Asian Immortals, see what I'm saying? The Yueh and all them. So everybody, the Kokians. So those were all the original progenitors of the Force at the beginning of the Piscean age before Yaldabaoth and his archonic fucking host gained seats of power in the world, and then they started to conquer the world slowly but surely. So yeah. So this always happens. Now we back again to do the same thing of seeing the planet from out the moon cycle, help it transition into the sun cycle. This is what we doing. This is why we here.
Seer, which resurrects, so must the physical Jedi. The Jedi were the stable ones, wisdom keepers of one mind and one spirit.
Matter of fact, I want to try to say that again.
In effort to raise the winter solstices, the failing years of a reigning monarch, or the coronation of a new one. A tower or obelisk that is symbolic of the connection and the balance of all things in heaven and on earth now represents the Jed. Let's see. Originally, the Jed represented Nature Ptah, who was called Noble Jed, but later on it came to represent the Nature Asir. Jed pillars were painted along the bottom of the coffin to symbolize becoming Asar and the afterlife and associating the deceased with the royal house of Kem or Kemet. The Jedi come forth during the changing of the cycles, sun cycle, moon cycle, etc. It means to stabilize a chaotic planet and set everything to order before the coming or with the coming of the new age. As a celestial Asir which resurrects, so must the physical Jedi. The Jedi were the stable ones, wisdom keepers of one mind and one spirit who, as initiates of the Osirian mysteries, compromised the living terrestrial body of the archetypical celestial Osiris. Contemporary Jedi are self-selecting regenerators of cosmos. They are those who, regardless of race or creed, are awakening to the mission and service to the planet and the epochal imperatives of stability, continuity, and regeneration. There are 7 planes of existence, the lowest being the physical plane, the plane of the material and superficial world, a world in which most of us find ourselves trapped. Which resurrects, so must the physical Jedi. The Jedi were the stable ones, wisdom keepers of one mind and one spirit who, as initiates of the Osirian mysteries, compromised the living terrestrial body of the archetypical celestial Osiris. Contemporary Jedi are self-selecting regenerators of cosmos. They are those who, regardless of race or creed, are awakening to the mission and service to the planet and the epochal imperatives of stability, continuity, and regeneration. There are 7 planes of existence, the lowest being the physical plane, the plane of the material and superficial world.
You got the physical plane, the astral plane, the causal plane, the Akashic plane. Oh, yeah, the physical plane, the astral plane, y'all know those two. The causal plane, which is the plane of the warriors, will, and the law of manifestation. Then you got the Akashic plane, the plane of the scholar, energy, transcendence, and cause and effect. You got the mental plane, which is the plane of the sage, truth, wisdom, and the principle of thought, sound, and vibration. And the logos, which is the divine word. You got the Buddhic, plane. I think I'm saying it right. Yeah, the Buddhic plane. Yeah, the Buddhic plane. There you go. Which are priests, oneness, compassion, and the principle of one or wholeness. And then you got the messianic plane, which deals with the king, love, agape, and the principle of love. You see what I'm saying? So there you go.
A world in which most of us find ourselves trapped, unable to transcend carnal desires. The 7 planes are associated with the 7 chakras, located in the body from the torso to the top of the dome or the head. These are vital centers where electromagnetic waves resonate throughout the upper portions of the body. The 6th chakra is the 3rd eye, which is located between the eyebrows. The headgear of the pharaoh is a serpent or snake, which is lined in perfect accord with the 3rd eye. The reason being is because the snake represents an electromagnetic energy flow that resonates in the brain at the 3rd eye level. In other words, a snake travels in a zigzag motion, which is equivalent to the way energy waves travel throughout the 7 chakras of the body. The mythical or symbolic meanings associated with the Jed since ancient Egyptian times were those of strength and stability. They represented the backbone of Osiris. Now we all know that without a functioning, healthy, and backbone, the human body is crippled or affected to varying degrees. To Take out the backbone and the bones attached to it, and you are left with an inert mass of skin and muscle incapable of moving like an old coat to a falling floor. The Jedi, or versions of it among indigenous populations around the world, is mentioned in legend and myth as a pillar or series of pillars holding up the sky or the world. Take a little thought further into the spiritual realm, and the phrase raising the Jedi is synonymous of raising consciousness or raising awareness.
There you go.
The Jedi warriors are champions of the downtrodden, the underdog, the deprived, and most of all, champions of women and the divine, feminine, imprisoned in women throughout the world. The Jedi warriors are those raising awareness, raising consciousness, stirring the rest of us up to stand up for what is right, of raising consciousness or raising awareness. The Jedi warriors are champions of the downtrodden, the underdog, the deprived, and most of all, champions of women and the divine, feminine, imprisoned in women throughout the world.
Yep.
The Jedi warriors are those raising.
So that means that the Jedi are those, they ain't peacekeepers, like they said. What the Jedi really are those who make sure that those women, men, and children who haven't awoken yet get their opportunity to awaken. You see what I'm saying? That's what Jedi really do. Let these motherfuckers tell you they peacekeepers, they protecting the community, they doing this. No. What Jedi sorcerers do, Jedi mystics do, sages and everyone, what they really do is offer everyone opportunity to awaken to the knowledge of self and by extension, the Force.
Awareness, raising consciousness, stirring the rest of us up to stand up for what is right and good in the world, to stand against oppression and tyranny. They are raising the Jedi. The Jedi have also come to define a man or woman whose wisdom grants them stability through the power of righteous speech. There is the possibility of the true nature of the Skywalker in all of us. We each have the possibility to be a Jedi by maintaining contact with the Force or higher powers. This means the positive and negative were brought together in harmony, each playing its proper role, just as night submits to the light of day. But keep in mind that in the teachings, the Jedi as physical pillars symbolize the two currents based in the spinal column. The duality in this column, or not harmonizing these two currents, is the cause of our terrestrial continuity, successive reincarnations, or reoccurrences. Also, the phrase, "May the Force be with you," is actually a prayerful reminder for us to not only to remember and sustain our connection with the Force or higher powers, but also a reminder to attain to the presence. Or as Christ had said, "Watch and sleep not," or as Buddha has said, "Don't identify." Alright, well, that's my little video on the Jedi. I hope you guys learned something from it. Alright, enjoy.
So there y'all go. In closing, the Jedi are star warriors and warriors who came back to heal and regenerate the planet and to fight off these Cabal warriors through the Force so that the people can have a chance. That's the greatest piece of all, to offer them the opportunity to gain this knowledge of self and awareness. And we fight out the bullshit until some of these people do awaken, or enough of them awaken to a point where Mother Earth can heal herself and raise her vibration so she can ascend to higher dimensions, and which is what she's doing now. And so by the end of the Great Convergence, you see what I'm saying, we'll be able to finish up. You see what I'm saying? We'll be completed the end of the cycle and moving the planet on into higher planes of existence. So there y'all go. So that's what the Jedi do. We promote stability, balance, ascension, regeneration, healing, transformation, and transmutation to high levels of consciousness, awareness, high dimensional planes, multidimensionality, and multiple other things as well. Wholeness, oneness, and what they call peace is actually inner peace, or inner stability, inner inner neutrality. You see what I'm saying? Peace is neutrality, what the Gnostics call rest, inner rest. See, when everything